Goal scorers often get the most praise in football, while midfielders, defenders, and even goalkeepers barely get any. This has led to some of the best and most important players of all time being underrated and their reputation muted. Let's take a look at 10 such players. We begin the list with France's all-time top scorer, Olivier Giroud. That statement alone should be enough to make you understand how amazing he's been throughout his career. But he's barely gotten any significant credit. His impressive goal scoring and trophy cabinet highlight his importance to every team he's played for. And even if he doesn't score, his inclusion is very important, as France found out in the 2018 World Cup. Across the board, his teams perform worse when he is not included, but none of these facts have made him any more popular among fans and pundits. He is no doubt one of the most impactful strikers in recent memory. Another striker who surely deserves more credit for his efforts is Edin Dzeko. You may not remember this, but the person who scored the equaliser in the famous Aguero game against QPR was Dzeko. This sums up his career perfectly. The Bosnian has been an elite goalscorer at every club he's ever played for, and he's got over 400 club goals in Europe's elite leagues, though no one ever seems to give him any credit. He has almost double the number of goals for his country compared to the second player. Just to put his numbers into perspective, he has scored more goals in the 21st century than the likes of Tevez, Drogba and Rooney. At 38, he is still banging in goals in the Turkish league, where he just lost out on the Golden Boot last season. Another player who featured in the Premier League was none other than Georginio Wijnaldum. During his time at Liverpool, he was among the players holding the club's midfield and significantly contributed to its success. However, he remained one of the most underrated players, with the likes of Salah and Van Dijk getting all the plaudits. He was instrumental to the team, even scoring 2 of the goals that led to the comeback against Barcelona. But all people remember is Origi. His importance became clear once he left, as Klopp had to try and rebuild a midfield without his most important player, and the results were nothing like when he was there. Now let's talk about Michael Carrick. Ever since his retirement in 2018, Man United have been searching for a holding midfielder of his quality, and they have yet to find a long-term solution almost a decade later. He was never flashy or a goal scorer of any sort, but he always did his job better than almost anyone on the field and allowed the likes of Rooney and Van Persie to go forward and score goals. He is among the most decorated players in the history of the English top-flight league. In Spain, a player who mirrors Carrick in not only position but body shape is Sergio Busquets. When it comes to Barcelona, the names that immediately come to mind are Messi, Xavi and Iniesta because of the impact they had. Most would even think of Guardiola before sparing a thought for Busquets, who was just as important as almost any of them. The same happens when you think of the Spanish national team. His consistent performances and impeccable passing accuracy made him an essential component of both teams' success. It's no secret that they had some of their most successful times when he was manning the midfield. Another Spanish player who's been underrated his whole career is Dani Carvajal. Ever since Spain won the Euros, people finally began giving him full credit, and others even said he deserved the Ballon d'Or, but the truth is, Carvajal has always been this good for many years now. He and Modric hold the record for most Champions League trophies won at 6, and he's had the right-back position at Madrid nailed down since 2013. Despite all this, his name never comes up when people think of the best fullbacks in the world. Speaking of Real Madrid, Angel Di Maria has an argument for being one of the best attacking players of the 21st century. Despite boasting a distinguished career playing for some of the finest teams in the world, such as Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester United, his heroics almost always get overlooked. The big moments are his playground, as he was man of the match in the 2014 Champions League final, scored the only goal of Argentina's 2021 Copa America final triumph, and more recently scored and won a penalty in the 2022 World Cup final. These are just highlights of what has been an exceptional career that most players would kill to have. To a Barcelona legend now, as even though he was a terrible manager, Ronald Koeman was a fantastic player. His strength and intelligence made him an exceptional central defender, but he was also a masterful footballer with a passing ability that matched some of the best playmakers in the world. He also utilised this technical ability to its greatest extent with his free kick taking. With 238 goals in 685 games, he is the highest scoring defender ever, a record that's probably unbeatable. Furthermore, he guided the Netherlands to their only title in the 1988 European Championships and led PSV Eindhoven to their only European Cup win in the same year. The European Cup pales in comparison to the World Cup, and the player who has scored the most goals in that competition is Miroslav Klose. He is also Germany's all-time top scorer, above legends such as Gerd Müller. Despite this, you rarely ever hear his name brought up amongst the greats of the game. He's best known for his performances with the German national team and was part of the squad that won the 2014 World Cup, having previously finished second or third in every other edition he was in, starting in 2002. We finish this list with a player who should be considered one of the greatest ever midfielders, but is rarely in that conversation: Andrea Pirlo. His range of passing was phenomenal, his skills graceful, and his free kicks exceptional. Spanish midfielders Xavi and Iniesta were praised far more during Pirlo's era, and he must have wondered what it would take to be mentioned in the cliched rants of these so-called experts. He single-handedly kept Italy relevant in an era when Spain and Germany received all the attention. The number of goals he scored does not do justice to his overall impact, as he played a key role in Italy's 2006 World Cup triumph alongside 2 Champions League trophies and 6 league titles. There you have it. Which one of these players do you think is the most underrated? Let us know in the comments. Remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to turn on bell notifications so that you never miss out on any new videos. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.